Dear students, in today's lecture, we are going to study the female secondary sex organs or the accessory sex organs. In previous lecture, we have discussed how the internal structure of reproductive system looks like, and you know that it is consists of the primary sex organ ovaries. There were two tube-like structures, the fallopian tubes, or you can call it the oviduct. There was a pear-shaped structure, uterus, and two tubular structures, cervix and the vagina. In today's lecture, we are going to study what is the extension of that internal structure that can be viewed from the outside, means the external view of the reproductive system, which is mainly consists of the external genitalia. There are few structures that are going to form the external genitalia, or this is also called as vulva. So this is the vulva. This complete diagram is of vulva or the external genitalia. While I am also going to discuss with you the postnatal care organ, the breast or the mammary glands associated with milking or the lactation period of the female body. Okay, so let's start with first of all this external genitalia or the vulva. This vulva or external genitalia consists of a dome-shaped structure. You can see here, this is a dome-shaped structure which is having hair on this, and this hair are known as the pubic hairs. The pubic hair, and this dome-like structure is known as mons pubis. Mons pubis. Okay. Now this mons pubis is linked with two delicate folds of skin. There are lip-like structure. You can see that there are two folds of skin. These folds of skin are known as this fold of skin, lip-like structure. They are known as labia majora. Okay, labia majora. And then this two folds from both the sides, they are covering a space known as vestibule. Vestibule. Okay. Now this vestibule is also having another fold of skin. You can see here, this is the red color fold I have shown here in this diagram. This fold are known as labia minora. This is the another fold of skin which is known as labia minora. And this labia minora is joining to form an elevated structure here, triangular structure here, like I can show here. This is the labia minora, and it is joining both the sides. They are going to join an elevated structure here. This triangular structure. Okay, this triangular structure is known as clitoris. Clitoris. Okay, and then clitoris is also covered by a flap of skin known as prepuce. Prepuce. Okay, this prepuce and clitoris, you have to remind that this clitoris is actually homologous to the glans penis of male reproductive system. Just recall that in male reproductive system we have studied the inseminating organ, the penis, and I told you that the penis has a sensitive tip. That sensitive tip is known as glans penis, which was covered by a fold of skin. You call it foreskin. That sensitive tip, the glans penis, is homologous to this clitoris in females. Both are the structures which are structurally or developmental plan is same, similar structures. glans penis is the part you call it in case of males. Okay. Now below this clitoris you can see two apertures. Here this is the space and this space is having two apertures. One aperture or opening is this and one aperture or opening is below the clitoris. This immediate aperture below the clitoris is known as urethral opening. Urethral opening, while this, the large opening, large aperture is known as the vaginal opening. Vaginal opening. Okay. Just recall the excretory system. Excretory system is consist of the kidneys, and then kidneys will form urine which will be collected by the urinary bladder, and when the urinary bladder will be filled up, then the urine will be passed out through the urethra. Okay. So this is the urethral opening through which the urine will be passed out in case of females. Okay. So this is the aperture linked to the excretory structure, not with the reproductive system. But below this there is a large aperture known as the vaginal opening. This is the same vagina that I told you about in previous lecture, a tubular structure through which the sperms will enter, and the opening of that tube, the vagina, is here in this external genitalia. Okay. So the vagina is this aperture is the space through which the sperms will enter or the semen will be entered, while this is the space through which the urine will be passed out. And now again recall the male reproductive system. I told you that in case of male reproductive system, there is a urinogenital tract, means the penis having the tubular structure urethra, it has a common function both to pass out the urine as well as to pass out the semen. Means that urethra in case of male is serving two purposes. One is to pass out urine and other is to pass out the semen. But here in case of female, the reproductive system and excretory system both are totally isolated. So we are not going to call here the path, any of the path, as urinogenital tract. Okay. So here you have to see this, that this is the opening of vagina that will lead to the vaginal tube, then that will open into cervix, cervix will enter into uterus, uterus will then open into the two tubes, fallopian tubes, and then fallopian tubes are linked with the ovaries. Okay, that was the internal view, and this is the external view of the female reproductive system. Very important term that now you have to learn, that this vaginal opening, just for example, I am showing here this is the vaginal opening. This vaginal opening is covered by a membranous sheath, thin membranous sheath known as hymen. Mostly it is covered by a very thin membranous sheath, hymen, and because it is very thin, it can be ruptured by playing, running, cycling, swimming. Any physical activity can lead to rupture of this membranous sheath. But problem is that this hymen was considered as or indicator of virginity of the females. It was considered that if the hymen is present, that means the female is virgin. That means the female was not having previous physical relationship any of the male before marriage. But because we know that it can be ruptured because of any physical vigorous activity, so this should not be linked with the virginity. This is totally a myth, that presence of hymen is a virgin character. Okay. So this is external genitalia. Now come to the next type of secondary sex organ, or you can call it the mammary glands. I have shown here the breast, and this breast have some lobes, spaces, we call it the mammary lobes. And there are near about 15 to 20 mammary lobes. I have drawn only 3 lobes here. Each lobe has a cluster of cells. You can see this is a cluster of cells. Okay? And this cluster of cell is known as alveoli. Alveoli. This alveoli or this group of cells, they are the milk secreting cells, and they have a space in between them which is known as alveolar cavity. When they will secrete the milk, they will store it in the space, alveolar space. Okay? And then the milk is released into these tube-like structures that will be passed out through these tube-like structures. You can see here each cluster is linked to a tubular structure known as mammary tubule. Okay. Now the mammary tubule from each alveoli or the cluster of cell, they are going to form again a common tube here like this. This is the common tube. Okay. This common tube is known as mammary duct. Mammary duct. And then the mammary duct will form a swollen area. These mammary ducts are leaving the tubes or these lobes actually, like this. This is the duct and this is leaving the lobe and then forming a swollen area known as ampulla. This is known as ampulla. Okay. And then ampulla of all the lobes, this because the ampulla is linked to the duct and because there are 15 to 20 lobes, so imagine just there are near about 15 to 20 ampulla. So this ampulla of all the lobes, they join to form another tubular structure known as lactiferous ducts. You can see here these are lactiferous ducts. These are. Okay. So when I write here lactiferous ducts. Okay. These are the lactiferous ducts. And these lactiferous ducts, they have opening outside. Means when the milk will be released, it will be stored. After the storage, it will be released in tubules. Tubules will join. Tubules from all these lobes will join to form firstly the duct, and the duct will form the ampulla region. Ampulla will then form the lactiferous ducts, and the lactiferous duct will release the milk outside. Then the infant will suck out the milk. Okay. The area where these lactiferous ducts have their opening is known as the nipple. This is the nipple area. Okay, nipple area. And this nipple area has some, if you view from outside, then externally it has a dark pigmented area where this nipple is present. The dark pigmented area is known as areola. Areola. Okay. In this breast, you not only have to show these lobes, these milk secreting structures, but also we have to show here the fatty adipose tissue. Okay. So the breast of size depends upon the presence of adipose tissue. This breast is present on the ventral side, and here I have shown the position. Here I have shown the first rib and the sixth rib. This is the position of these structures, and they are associated with the nourishment of baby or the infant and during the lactation period. Okay. So in detailed view how this duct system is linked to each other, I have shown here another diagram to make it clear to you. Let's have again its labeling. Firstly, I told you that there is a cluster of cell. This is the cluster of cell. Okay. So this is a group of cell which is known as alveoli. You call it alveoli. This is the space that I have shown here, the space known as the alveolar cavity. Then the alveoli, they are joining to form alveolar cavity. It is opening into tubular structure, mammary tubule. So this is mammary tubule from each group of cells. This mammary tubule then lead to another. They are going to join together to form the mammary duct. Mammary ducts, they form in swollen area known as ampulla. Ampulla, and then ampulla, they are going to form another tubular structure, lactiferous duct. Lactiferous duct. And where these lactiferous ducts are opening outside, they are leaving. They have an opening from a space or the area. You call it the nipple area. Okay. So these are the two types of secondary sex organs associated with female reproductive system. And I hope this is clear to you.